Are your kids safe this summer? Now that school is out, children and youth have a lot more time on their hands. And for many, that's going to mean more time spent online where we know there are risks and dangers. How should you protect your kids? How do you talk to your kids about online safety? In this episode, we take a deep dive into the subject with a representative from the Southern Alberta Internet Child Exploitation, or ICE unit.
Across the prairies, the wind is a constant companion, drifting down from the mountains, across the hills and valleys, forests and plains. The wind is a harbinger of change. It whispers warm breezes across snow-covered winter landscapes and caresses sunny summer evenings. It whips up snow into blizzard frenzies and boils up ominous black clouds of prairie thunderstorms. And if you listen closely, you might hear messages in the wind which speak of hope, change, and renewal. This is Voices in the Wind, a regular broadcast from the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre, where we share news about our mission to end sexual violence and child abuse across southwestern Alberta.
Hi, I'm Brett Brown, one of the Communications and Sustainable Fund Development Officers here at the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre. I would like to welcome you to this episode of Voices in the Wind, a podcast dedicated to exploring news and information about sexual abuse, sexual violence, and child abuse. This can be a challenging topic to address, but our approach is to do it with hope and positivity. We aim to highlight the incredible efforts being made to support those affected by abuse, while also providing insights and raising awareness that can inspire real and lasting social change. We want to thank you for joining us for this important conversation. However, we want you to be aware that we may touch on subject matter that is uncomfortable or triggering. If you feel like you need help, please reach out to 403-694-1094 or the Alberta One line for sexual violence at 1-866-403-8000. You can also visit our website at csacleth.ca. In this episode, we want to spend some time talking about the importance of internet safety and provide a bit of advice to parents. We also want to explore the emerging issues in this area. Helping us with this effort is Corporal Bangle from the Southern Alberta Internet Child Exploitation Unit. Corporal Bangle has been a member with the RCMP for over 24 years. She served 6.5 years in general duties before transferring to the Alert Combined Forces Special Enforcement Unit in 2008. In 2011, Corporal Bangle transferred within Alert to the Southern Alberta Internet Child Exploitation, or ICE unit. As a result, she has years of experience investigating all child exploitation offenses committed online here in Canada and around the world. Corporal Bangle has received extensive training during her time with the ICE unit in digital technologies, internet child exploitation, online covert investigations, peer-to-peer investigations, and much more. She's a qualified child forensic interviewer and has attended several conferences and workshops on internet child exploitation across North America. In 2024, Alert created the first ever ICE community engagement team, and Corporal Bangle was one of the inaugural members of the team, which is designed to help create and foster more education and awareness about internet safety for kids, teens, parents, caregivers, and the communities that support them. Welcome to Voices in the Wind, Heather.
Thank you very much.
So, as we mentioned, we want to talk a little bit about internet safety, but just to kind of start things off, can you tell me a little bit about the Internet Child Exploitation Unit, or ICE, and what it is and what it does?
Absolutely. So it was back in 2006, 2007 when the Alberta government, through Alert, created the first ICE unit. And our mandate is to investigate the sexual offenses, related to sexual exploitation on the internet. And the key word there is on the internet. And then we also work with and liaise with law enforcement around the world, because as we know, the internet does not have any borders. And now we are focusing more and more on the education and awareness part of it as well.
Okay. So that leads into the next question, because I guess that's part of your role is the community awareness. So maybe you can just tell me a little bit about what it is you do with the ICE unit.
For sure. Well, for the first 14 years in the unit, I was an investigator, and we're an integrated unit, and so we have a north unit and a south unit, and the divide is around Lacombe. So my unit, the Southern Alberta ICE unit, we cover from Lacombe all the way south to the border. And we have RCMP, Calgary City Police, Medicine Hat Police Service, Lethbridge Police Service, and recently we also have Lacombe Police Service and Tabor join our team. And so we all work together, investigating these offenses, traveling around and doing the work together. Last year is when ICE created the community engagement team, because if you would have asked us 10 years ago to get out there and do more education and awareness, I personally would have been like, no, we need parents and caregivers to do that, and educators, because we're just so busy. And I thought we were busy then, but now fast forward to today, and I do believe, yes, more than ever, it's the education and awareness that's going to make a difference, because once it gets to us, it's already happened. So with the community engagement team, our primary goal right now is just to get out there and talk to as many people that will listen, whether it's in schools, in communities, parent groups, sporting groups, basically anyone that will invite us to have a chat.
That's awesome. Thanks so much for that answer. So let's talk a little bit about the threats that are and risks that are out there online for children and youth. One of our justice assistant navigators, Samantha, has put together an interesting article that will be out in our newsletter at the beginning of July on AI companions and chatbots and the danger that they pose. Can you tell me a little bit about what you're seeing in this area?
Well, when it comes to AI, yes, we're definitely starting to see it trend upwards in terms of the risks and the dangers with it. In AI chatbots and companions specifically, we haven't had a lot come into our office, but I do know that it's definitely out there. I'm sure you guys have heard about the lawsuit down in the United States involving a young boy who had committed suicide after getting involved with an AI companion. But AI just in general is a huge risk for our kids out there, because yes, we've got these AI companions, chatbots, but we also got AI generated child sexual abuse material being created using this technology, more commonly known as deep fakes. Mm-hmm. And so the offenders out there are starting to take advantage of this technology and using AI-generated CSAM, as we call it, to extort kids and abuse them. In addition to just kids in general, peers using this technology to create images that are going to be used to cyberbully some of their peers and kids in their school and community.
Yeah, it's really getting quite scary with what could be created with AI these days. Another kind of group that's been in the news lately is the 764 group, and I guess this is part of a kind of a cluster of child exploitation groups. And for people that aren't aware, these groups kind of lure in vulnerable kids or youth on the internet and then influence them to cause harm to themselves, to parents and pets, and all sorts of really kind of scary things. I think there was even a Central Alberta girl that was victimized through this 764 group. Can you tell me, are you seeing evidence of these groups operating out there, and what can people do to deal with that situation?
Well, yes, we are aware. It's actually the way they are calling it is called the CALM network, and it is made up of all those different groups within it. So there's the 764, the 09A. Recently I heard of another group called 444, and they're doing exactly that. They're exploiting vulnerable kids. Their goal isn't so much for that sexual exploitation side of things, it's just more to create chaos. But 100% we are seeing it here in Alberta. Both offenders and victims. But in terms of what to do to, protect ourselves and our kids from that is just basic parenting, internet safety 101 is, having conversations with your kids about the risks out there, including the AI generated, the companions, and these extreme groups that are out there, but everything else online. Have those conversations, teach your kids to recognize red flags when they're online, just the basics of, know who you're talking to, there's lots of different things, and I'm sure I'll probably get asked today, but
okay,
I could talk for hours about this.
Awesome. Well, we'd love you to do that. And we'll get to that, I guess, in the next segment here. For now, we're going to take a bit of a break. And when we come back in our conversation, we'll talk a little bit more about some of the risks and dangers for kids online and what parents can do to protect their kids. In the meantime, here is Jacqueline Ahenkorah with Chinook Winds.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Ahenkorah, and welcome to Chinook Winds, our monthly summary of news and events at the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre. To start with, we want to encourage you to get your ticket for our Dream Vacation raffle. This is an opportunity to imagine your perfect vacation. You could win a round-trip flight for 2 guests to any regularly scheduled and marketed WestJet destination, plus a fabulous prize package from local businesses and supporters. Our Dream Vacation raffle prize package includes a new Gabiano luggage set, 3-night stay in 1-bedroom suite with Sandman Hotels, Red Arrow bus ticket, $300 in spending cash for your trip from Avo CPA, care for your pet from Crokey Canines, hairs and hair services from Union Salon and Barber, and dress socks from Gentleman 3. Plus, if you get your ticket early, you are eligible for our extra special early bird prize draw. Purchase your ticket by July 9 and you could win 2 tickets to see the weekend at the Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton on Saturday, July 19. Tickets are available in the events section of our website at csacleth.ca. Throughout July, the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre invites you to visit our art show at the Yates Theatre Gallery. Impact Unveiled, Beyond the Silence Art Show is a collection of amazing work from local artists, which is designed to spark positive conversation about sexual violence prevention. These works are a visual expression of survival, strength, healing, empowerment, and the emotions tied to this experience. Make sure you stop by and check it out. Over the summer, the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre will be reaching out to local pubs, bars, lounges, and other establishments. We are hoping to distribute special posters and stickers designed to build awareness about sexual violence prevention and share information about where to get help. If you are a business owner who is interested in these materials, please contact our office at 403-694-1094. We are also looking for volunteers interested in helping us distribute these materials. Again, contact our office if you can assist with this effort. Got an old clunker you would love to send down the road? With Donated Car Canada, you can donate your car to support the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre and earn a tax deduction. To get things started, call their toll-free at 1-877-250-4904 or visit their website at donatedcar.ca. All you have to do is to fill out a simple online form, and Donated Car Canada will arrange to pick up your wanted vehicle. If you choose the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre as your charity of choice, we will receive the proceeds from your vehicle donation, and you will receive a tax receipt for your contribution. Speaking of donations, we are excited to be participating in Rogers Birthdays for Kids presented by AltaLink. From now until the end of August, donations made to the Chinook Child and Youth Advocacy Centre through the Rogers Birthdays for Kids platform will be matched up to 50%. This is a great way to extend your generosity and to support the work we do. To participate, you can click the Donate Here tab on our link tree or visit the Rogers Birthdays for Kids website and select the Chinook Child and Youth Advocacy Centre where you make your donation. And finally, we wanted to take a moment to say a big thank you to one of our largest supporters, MNP Lethbridge, who have adopted the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre as the charity of choice. Through their generosity, MNP LLP has made a significant difference in the lives of those we support. MNP has not only supported us corporately, but many of their team members have made donations and supported our fundraising efforts. In June, NMP organized a toy drive to support our Chinook Child and Youth Advocacy Centre, collecting new toys which will provide comfort to children through the investigative, judicial, and healing processes. We want to express our heartfelt thanks and appreciation to everyone at MNP LLP Lethbridge. The generosity of organizations like yours provides essential resources to our organization and inspires us to continue our mission of hope, healing, and support. Let us wrap this segment with an inspiring clip featuring MNP Jan Mock, speaking about why NMP has chosen to support the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre.
Sexual violence affects so many lives and so many families, and so supporting the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre allows me to be a small part of the solution. The team at the centre provides crucial life-changing services like counseling, legal support, education, all of which makes a significant difference to the lives of those who are affected. I just want to ensure that these essential services remain available to all individuals who might need to access them.
Thanks, Jacqueline. Welcome back to Voices in the Wind, where we are speaking to Corporal Heather Bangle from the Southern Alberta Internet Child Exploitation, or ICE unit. Now, before the break, we were talking about the so-called 764 group and the dangers it presents. Now, I understand that this group lured their victims, or is luring their victims, through popular gaming sites, as well as communication platforms like Discord that are used by gamers. Can you tell us a little bit about how parents can deal with this threat specifically? Because, most kids these days are online gaming, and it's kind of a normal activity for kids, but there are dangers in that. It's just not, when they go online to what we would think of traditional internet activities. These are they're online with their games as well.
Yeah, 100%. I can guarantee you any platform, whether it's Roblox, Minecraft, Fortnite, where there are kids, there's going to be predators. And what their intentions are may vary, whether it's this comm network or if it's someone with the intention of sextorting kids or just exploiting them and abusing them over a period of time. But these groups, like you said, this is the norm for kids today. It's the internet's not going away. So I think the best way that we can protect our kids is by arming them with the skills and the tools that they need to know to recognize those red flags. So, as I mentioned earlier, right, having those conversations with the kids. And as a parent, I think it's important to monitor what your kids are doing online, who they're talking to, how much time they're spending online, and what areas of the internet they're going on to. Now, that being said, when they are in these games, it's important for them to know, for the kids to know that if someone is asking too many personal questions, that's a red flag. Right? If someone is trying to move them off of that platform to a more secure one, like off of Fortnite into Discord or into WhatsApp, where, or Facebook Messenger, where it's more secure with the end-to-end encryption for messaging and stuff. So when they're trying to move them to a different platform, that's a red flag. And it's important for them to know that not everyone is who they say they are on the other end. A lot of kids are very trusting. They want that connection. And sometimes it's easy to find online, but just it's very scary and dangerous at the same time.
Yeah, for sure. Now, another kind of threat that's out there, and you mentioned it, I think, a little bit earlier, is sextortion, and it's a growing problem on the internet. Tell me what sextortion is and how it affects children and youth.
Yeah, sextortion is actually one of the biggest reasons why I jumped at the opportunity to take this new role as the community engagement officer, because we started seeing it, 5 or 6 years ago, becoming more and more, and now it's so prevalent and it's happening to so many children. The Canadian Centre for Child Protection, I think they got 2,400 reports last year of sextortion. And those are just the ones that are reported, never mind the ones that go unreported. And what it is the offender can be anywhere, but a lot of them are more financially motivated than they are sexual. Like they're more financial predators than sexual predators. That being said, there are the sexual predators out there. It's a big world, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
But so what these bad actors are doing is they're creating fake accounts and going and into those areas where these kids are and pulling them out and or just going into Snapchat, Instagram. We even now recently had some kids sextorted that were met on Discord or Reddit. So they'll send them a friend request. Usually, they might have 2 friends in common or something like that. And so the kid or the child will think, we got mutual friends, it's okay. And then they'll accept the friend request and they'll get talking. I could go into great detail of how it goes down, but at the end of the day, that offender, their primary goal is to get some, exploitive material from the child, and as soon as they do, then they start threatening them for money or images. Typically, it's boys who are sextorted for money, and girls are sextorted for more images and videos.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Really kind of scary stuff, and I guess the one of the messages for parents is that once it's out on the internet, it's kind of there forever. So you got to be really careful about what you share. Let's talk a little bit about what parents can do, and you mentioned some of the things earlier. Important to have conversations about kids, but what are some of the things specifically that parents can do to have those conversations with their kids? What should they be telling them? All of that kind of, how do those conversations go?
Exactly what I said earlier, right? Having those conversations, you got to be blunt with them, because if you're giving your child access to the internet, you're giving them access to the world, and you're giving the world access to your children, right? So you gotta be real with them. There's no sugarcoating it. So, we have victims as young as 8 years old getting sextorted, or 12 or 17, right? It's all ages. And unfortunately, we have kids when they're sextorted, some of them do the right thing, go talk to their parents. Some of them drain their bank accounts. Some of them steal their parents' credit cards. And then we unfortunately have some that are committing suicide. And so we need to let kids know that if this happens, tell someone. The most important message is if something happens online, to tell someone. But, so you want to teach them about the red flags, but things are going to happen, mistakes are going to be made. But then we also add in that AI-generated CSAM that I'd mentioned, right? It's so easy for offenders now just to take the images of the child, create that child sexual abuse material, and threaten them with that. And the child won't know what to do. So let them know that, stop all communication, block the person, report it to the platform. That's very important. And tell a trusted adult. And they can help them navigate what steps to do next, whether it's reported to the police or taking screenshots, all of the above. But It's just really important that if they know that if something happens online, they are not alone, and to tell someone.
Yeah, and I guess that's the biggest thing, with adults as well, is that when we are victimized by this, we're embarrassed and afraid to tell people, and that's a place that we need to get with the kids that are willing to come and share with us, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. And these people that are sextorting our kids, they're very, it's like high pressure sales tactic, right? They put a lot of pressure on the kids to respond and to take action right away. So it can be very, very overwhelming for the child. So that's why it's important for them to know ahead of time, if this happens, these are some of the things you can do.
Okay. Now, this is a really fast-moving kind of area, different kind of things coming and go very quickly. So, and I'm thinking just about the whole AI thing, which really wasn't there, say, maybe 3 years ago even, that is now a real threat out there. Where can parents keep up to date with, the threats that are out there for their children? And where can they access resources on this about how to speak to their kids?
That's a great question, because it's always changing. It was I think it was 2022 when that ChatGPT came out, and then the AI has just exploded since then. Like, it's amazing how real it can be and how accessible it is. So one of the great resources that we have here in Canada is the Canadian Centre for Child Protection. They have a lot of resources there for kids, parents, teens, educators, about what the latest trends are and what they can do if their child's been exploited, or for kids to reach out for help. And then there are like tons of resources out there. If you go looking for them, it can be a bit overwhelming almost. So you can start with the Canadian Centre for Child Protection. The National Centre for Missing and Exploited Children out of the United States is also a great resource. They have some great programming, including their Net Smarts program for younger kids. They've got little episodes like Into the Cloud to help with some online safety tips. And then there's other organizations like the Saffron Centre. They're based out of St. Albert. They have great resources on how to help kids set their privacy settings, which I think is one thing I haven't mentioned.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's very important, right? Is know what platforms your kids are on, what they're using, but make sure their accounts are set up so that they're private, right? Like, have those protections in place. So the Saffron Centre has some great documents to help parents. Okay, this is how you set up the privacy for Snapchat or Instagram. And then also the Carly Ryan Foundation. They're based out of Australia. They have some really great app fact sheets. So it'll explain to parents what Roblox is, what Snapchat is, and all the new and up-and-coming apps that kids are using.
Great answer, Heather, and lots of resources out there. And I understand there's also some local resources in the southern Alberta area, and specifically in Lethbridge, the parents can ask us. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes. So when I came down in March and did a presentation for the community, I learned about Lethbridge's online safety toolkit. It's created and hosted by both the City of Lethbridge and the Lethbridge Police Service. So if you just go to their website, look up online safety toolkit. I did look it over, and I thought it was actually a great resource for people who want to learn more about what they can do to keep their kids safe online.
Awesome. And always great to promote local tools. So,
100%.
Yeah. So I want to thank you very much for joining us here today. This is a really interesting topic. A little scary, but also important for parents to learn more about how to talk to their kids and what they can do to keep them safe during the summer. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So that wraps up this episode of the podcast. We'll be back next month for another great episode. In the meantime, to learn more about the Chinook Sexual Assault Centre, please visit our website at csacleth.ca or call us at 403-694-1094. If you need help, you can also connect with Alberta's One Line for Sexual Violence at 1-866-403-8000. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again for another edition of Voices in the Wind.